Loop Hero is a minimalistic roguelite RPG.
The story is... The world is ending, and as everyone's memory fades, all that they forget fades into the void. Only you have the power to enter the void and remember the world back into existence.
This game is quite ugly at the beginning because it's just super pixelated and not very detailed, but this game is quite unique because you have a loop of... You just get a loop on screen.
Just a road.
That's it.
Going around and around.
And slowly you're remembering things. You have cards. You can place them as tiles into the world, and that's how you remember how the world was. Where was the swamp? Where was the rocks? And enemies as well. Because as you go on the loop, the enemies will appear, and as you face them, an idle game is suddenly on there. So you don't play the battles are played for you.
The basic gameplay loop is this friction between how many enemies you put in front of you that give you more loot and more cards that then create more encounters, and how many times you're going to go around the loop before you retreat with all the resources you've earned and return to your base, where there are some survivors of the chaos, and you can use those resources to build buildings that give you more abilities that allow you to go back to the loop while recreating existence to get more resources and, of course, more loot.
And you can go to this loop as a warrior, rogue, or necromancer, and there's a story dialogues as well.
And which type of class you choose and what type of loot you get equipped with early on are going to determine your strategy for what's the best way to recreate the world for that particular character.
But the real question is,
should you play it? Should you loop it?
Should you loot it?
Should you
loop it?
Yeah, well, that's the question. But first, you should know that this game is going to be completely free from the Epic Game Store the week starting August 3rd, 2023. So you'll have 1 week to claim it, put it in your library, install it whenever you want. And that is what we do on this channel. We play and review every free weekly game from the Epic Game Store. So subscribe, and you will never have to be caught in an endless loop ever again.
Good one.
Thank you. So I actually got really pulled into the gameplay loop of this game. It's really engaging. It's quite exciting to be able to try to upgrade your loot, which determines how many loops you're going to be able to make through. There's that risk-reward tension in everything that you do. However, getting like a number of hours into it, I found it to get kind of repetitive, and it gets a little bit robotic because a lot of the things are automated. In the beginning, that's very interesting and unique, but it takes some of the excitement out of it. So I was less excited the farther I got into it. However, simply because this game is so much more than what it looks like, I'm going to give it a yes because I think it's worth experiencing. A lot of you might take one look at it and decide that it's not really worth playing, but it is a unique experience that I think you should give a chance to.
Okay, I did not expect it that you would say yes. I have to agree with everything, basically.
Okay.
The visual is not great, but it doesn't matter because the mechanics are. There could be a lot more cards, a lot more variety to it. Unfortunately, there isn't, but I think it's good enough to, especially now it's for free, you should definitely try it. It's yes from me, but if you decide to buy it, just know that it will get repetitive over time.
Well, but if you decide that maybe this isn't quite for you, but something similar might appeal to you, we also reviewed the Guild of Dungeoneering. That is also about cards, kind of creating a world in front of you, placing monsters. You actually play the dungeon master and then send your little dungeoneers through the dungeon that you're creating in real time. So very interesting as well. Check out that review next.